Today our guest is Mr. Madan Mohanka from one of our earliest batches of IIMA, 1967 batch. And his story is one of the most remarkable and transformational and inspiring stories of IIMA from an era when freedom was still very new, globalization was not a thing, and people were very pessimistic all around. The environment of the country was anything but conducive for entrepreneurship. In that era, he built an empire called Tega Industries. Tega Industries is the largest industry in India for industrial consumables for mining and material handling, with a presence out of 93 countries. Mr. Mohanka is an engineer and also an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad. He is recognized for his leadership and for his philanthropy, and he was honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award at the CMA Management Excellence Awards of 2025. So, Mr. Mohanka, it's a pleasure to have you here today and welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me. I've never said no to IIM. Even when I was sick on a wheelchair, they had invited me to come and give a talk and I came.
Yeah, that we know. That is lovely. And you have contributed so much to IIM in terms of time, in terms of obviously funds, but your time I think is the most valuable thing that we keep getting, and the sweets that you bring for us. I would like to start with your experience, like when you graduated, like you were the second batch of IIM Ahmedabad, 1967. The country was so different than what it is today.
Yes.
There was nothing called globalization. The entire environment of the country was so pessimistic. Right? It wasn't, the freedom was very new.
Yes.
We had fought very hard for it and we got the freedom. I think my generation took it a little bit for granted. But your generation saw that raw country right after getting freedom. Right? How did you think of building an industry back then when the environment was not really friendly, right? Conducive. And what were the initial challenges and how did your family, your friends, your close ones react? Would love to know about your journey.
When I passed out, the CTC annual used to be around 10,000 rupees a year. So I thought that's not enough money to live life. So I thought I'll go to USA and make my career there. I made an application. I gave it to Mote sir to recommend my name because one had to do MBA again in USA. Was not recognized. So Mote refused to do it, Mote sir. He said, I said, what crime have I done? He said, no, I didn't teach you to go and work in USA. If you leave, who will create the jobs here? Stay on, don't go. I never looked at going to USA to build my career. I stayed on here. And then I thought what to do to create jobs. Then I thought of taking a tough task of starting an industry of my own at that time. I was in the office of a chief engineer of NMDC, Kiriburu, and I saw a magazine in his office which had an ad of Skega. They said that we innovate and give engineering solutions by combining 3 technologies: mechanical engineering, tribology, and mineral processing. So that sounded fascinating. So I wrote to them that, can I have your agency or like some relationship? They said no. I didn't get that letter. So I sent them a cable after 15 days that I'm coming to meet you. They were surprised. We have told him no, why is he coming? But unfortunately or fortunately, that letter came 6 months later by sea mail.
Oh.
By that time I had already gone to see them and we started the relationship. But this product required selling of concept, not a product. Even in USA they took 10 years to market this product. So they told me, you will take a time, go and educate your customer in India, we'll support you. So their engineers used to come every 3 to 4 months and I had to travel the country with him to educate the customers. Then after 5 years, customer told me, why don't you make it? Don't waste my time coming again and again. It will sell like hotcake. Then everybody thought that now the time has come, we can make it here. And we decided to start manufacturing and I signed a license agreement with Skega. We did a market survey ourselves. It was done by Greenlace Bank, Merchant Banking Division, who made the bankable report, as well as Skega. and we found there is a big market. We put up the plant after getting the money from the bank. That's a long story. So when we started manufacturing and selling, for 2 years our order book was zero.
Wow. So how did you manage?
That's the problem. So people, those who told it will sell like hotcake, they did not buy, because 99.5% customer, except Tata Steel, were all government customers. So they told, if I buy and my company makes a profit, I don't get promotion. But if it fails, I will lose my job. So I will not take a chance. I will not take a risk.
That is how the thought process was.
And he said, ki, in every 5 years, my promotion is guaranteed. So in a system where the promotion is based on time, not on performance, they will never adopt a new technology. That was the condition of the public sector those days. So then I met Labdi, my contemporary, my batchmate. He was a great marketeer. Unfortunately, he died in a plane crash in '84, Bombay Ahmedabad plane crash. Labdi was died. If he would have been alive, he would have been possibly one of the world star in marketing. So he told me focus. So we had 300 customers. He brought down the customer list to 100. I was crying. 300 में order नहीं मिलता तो 100 में क्या मिलेगा? Plus focus. 100 we focused on 50, and then we focused on 30. So we used to visit a customer 8 times, then we used to get the inquiry and the offer. And he told the gap should not be more than 15 days. Then they started, the first order that we got from Bokaro Steel for 74,000 rupees, a chute lining iron ore for them in the blast furnace for 74,000 rupees. 72 people had to clear that file. You can imagine the amount of effort it would take.
Yeah.
The company had almost become very, very weak financially. Mr. Natkandi, who was the chairman of IDBI ICSI, recommended a rights issue.
Oh.
The people told the company's capital is zero, so what rights issue are you offering? Then he told he needs money only for the 6 months, let us support him. Then some money came, we started marketing, getting some order, and where we are today.
So there are so many small things in this story. One is that one delayed mail, which actually said no, like post, which did not reach you, actually created an opportunity for you.
Yeah, it's
so
a luck. That's really good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck, yeah.
Yeah. And then comes the next, that people who said that they will buy, they did not buy because the environment, I think, just newly, liberated country. The environment was where people were looking more for security rather than, being risk takers.
Adventurous.
Right?
Yeah.
Risk taking was, that appetite was not existent that time in that society. Maybe that is why.
No, they think they take a risk because they are tuned to take risk.
And one of the lessons which was like, I think something that they now teach in business schools, that is creating the sales funnel. Like what your batchmate Labdi did for you is that creating that funnel.
Yeah, he told focus.
Focus.
Focus,
that you have to
focus.
focus on this.
Don't spread your marketing to 300 customers. Focus that you can get the next.
Yeah. And Labdi was your batchmate from IIMA.
My roommate.
Roommate from IIMA.
Yeah.
So what I see, it's unfortunate and it's so sad to hear. Means he would have made a beautiful podcast if he would have been there today. But what I really took away also from this, that the IIMA alumni network, standing up for each other, helping each other.
True.
Right? Yeah. That is something that stays true.
I always tell my people when I meet them, 20% of my learning was from my batchmates, because the class participation was valued at 20%. So what they used to do, class participation, I learned 20% from them.
Wow. So in this journey, like this is a short story, means if we can keep going on and on, like how was your family? Was it very supportive? Was it neutral? And did you face the backlash from close family and friends?
When the company went bad, there was a lot of crisis at home. Some of my brothers, we stopped talking. The family broke into pieces.
And then, did it ever repair completely?
Yeah. After some time, my sisters were of great help to bring the family together. and we are like a happy family as we used to be earlier. But it broke the family into pieces. Had I known that this would happen, maybe I would not have done it, or I would have handled it differently. But when there is a loss, everybody suffers. I don't know what alternative you can find to handle it differently.
So now that you say I think for a while you were back being a happy family, but the conversations that would have happened that time, like, because I'd see a lesson of letting go and moving on here, which is a lot of people don't do, right? Letting go, usne mujhe ye bola, usne mujhe ye bola. They hold on to that. But you clearly would have allowed yourself to sit, think, reflect, and forgive. Or maybe not even forgive, just let go. And go back just because maybe they are family or they are blood or just because they are important to you. Was that difficult?
Very, very difficult. For me, Tega was not a job. It was a mission of my life that I have to make a success. If I had failed, it would not reflect only on me, but it will also reflect on my alma mater. I am graduate. What do? They can't do things properly.
Did anyone tell you that?
Oh, every day. Every day. I had to go through that. So I thought I will not give up. And I was at it, and I had good advisor like Mote sir. He told, if you believe in the product, believe in yourself, and don't give up. A light will come one day.
I see what Mote sir was to you is what in this day and age we call mentorship.
Yeah, he did mentor me, yeah. I've written a book on him as well.
Yeah, I have not read it completely, but because I was going to interview, you read a few pages of it. So what is your, like for today's young generation, right? Like I believe in mentorship, and in fact, I keep seeking mentors for different things. But there are so many people I meet who think that they know everything. I've seen the world, I know. So people in their 40s and 50s, do you think they need mentor? Would you advise them to seek mentor?
I suppose you need interaction or sounding board or mentor every day in your life. Because when you think, there are chances that you can make mistake. So it's always good to have somebody with whom you can interact and discuss.
So would you, in a scale of, 0 to 5, having a mentor in life, right? How important would you say it
Very
is?
important.
5?
5. Yeah.
5?
Yeah, I mean, I could start again my life because of the mentorship that I had from Mote sir. I mean, when he wrote the Tega cases, A, B, C, D in 80s, he was in my house for 3 months. Because those days there was no computer, no typewriter, so he used to write with a hand, and we used to get it typed in the office next day morning. So he worked with me for 3 months for writing those cases.
I have read somewhere when I was researching on you that you went to proper Pathshala, that
In the school.
in the school,
Yeah.
right? What was the journey from that Pathshala to IIMA was like? Means, did you know about IIMA? That time, when you were in Pathshala, IIMA did not exist. And you were the second batch. Did it feel like that you are taking a big risk?
I will tell you how I came to IIM. Well, after doing my engineering, my father wanted me to go and build a school in the village in summertime. So before that, I was working with an English company called Simon Cups. They were building steel plant in Durgapur.
Right.
So one of my mentor in the company was one Mr. Avinash Deshmukh. He had done his MBA in USA. So he told me, Madan, you are wasting your time. Go and do this course.
He told you about IIMA.
Next day morning, he gave me the newspaper in which the ad had come. So I applied for it. I got a call. I gave the test without any preparation.
Oh,
I didn't even know what kind of preparation is required.
right.
Then got through. Then they had an interview. And I got through an interview because I had some business background. So they preferred me and I was an engineer. So I scored well in the maths. And I joined Ahmedabad.
And how was the first day when you came?
First day was terrible. When on the first day, after the inauguration was done, Dr. Sarabhai, Ravi, everybody's speeches. And at 11 o'clock, they gave us 3 case studies.
Okay.
One accounting case, Galway series, was 147 page. It will be discussed tomorrow morning. So I went to the room and studied, and I asked my other roommates, yeah, I don't understand debit and credit. And nobody understood because there was nobody from the commerce background. So I came back and met Mote sir at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I gave a slip. He was PGP chairman. Can anybody give me some tuition for half an hour, 1 hour, and tell me what debit and credit is? Then he looked at my face and told, Madan, we don't ask you whether you know swimming or not. We throw you in the sea. You drown or die, or you can swim through and get out of my room.
How did you feel after that?
Where have I come? Is this the place called IIM? I should go back home. Then I went back to my room and chatted with my friends. They told, no, don't go. And in 15, 20 days, I was good in accounting because I had a math background. And I just carried on. So at the end, when I was passing out, Mote sir asked me, how did you feel that day? I said, very bad. He said, I was monitoring your progress every day. And I knew that you will not run away because you started improving. So that is the role of a leader, to get the best out of his people. If you are broken, I would not allow you to break. So he kept on. So I did that. So the lesson I learned, there is nothing impossible in life. You can learn anything. And number two, what you learn yourself remains with you lifetime.
Self-learning.
Self-learning, yeah.
Yeah. So you're also now teaching as a visiting faculty.
Yeah.
Do you see a difference? I'm sure we all see a difference, but what is the mindset now like for the young students whom you're teaching? Because they are a different generation even for us. I would be very curious. Do they, like, is the self-learning something in this era of like information bombarding that is continuously happening?
During our time, we used to be a little more serious about reading, homework before we came to the class. We never could imagine coming to the class without preparing. But these days I find people are very casual. Some read, some don't even read. Some don't even know what case is being done today. But they have such a strong academic background. Everybody 99 plus.
Correct.
So they are able to manage. That was not the case during our time.
Do you really think that 99 plus is the reason why they are able to manage? Or I'm curious, and especially would like to know from people who have built industries and are teaching, and we are yet to come to your philanthropy part of the journey. Isn't it much more a mindset? And
to a mindset today, the people have so much of knowledge, information, and information they get on drop of a hat. They don't have to work that hard that we used to work hard. They manage.
yeah, getting information is easy, which I think even I am a pre-internet generation. It wasn't that easy for us. But what they do with that information needs a very, very solid amount of critical thinking. Do you see that improving, or you see it deteriorating?
It is improving.
It is improving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they have a good mind. Genetically, they are sharp.
That's interesting and very different take from most of the people, industry experts I speak to on a regular basis.
Oh, they are genetically very sharp.
That's a very beautiful take, because this is the first time in 3 months, I think, I'm meeting someone, talking to someone who is saying that it's getting better. Because most of the time I hear, and people again much senior than me in their 40s, 50s, who are like, no, it's deteriorating, the workforce is deteriorating. And I'm like, how is that possible with all the information that is
Look
available?
at the way they have reached. All the top CEOs of the world are from IIM Ahmedabad, or even in India. Yeah.
Indian origin. Yeah. That's lovely. I would now like to focus a little bit on your, we just spoke about you building Tega, your family, your childhood. Is there particularly some incident from your childhood or from your growing years, right, which you think played a very vital role, important role in you building an industry which is now working out of 93 countries, which is a huge accomplishment?
One of the most diversified Indian multinational.
Correct, right? And I'm very interested in knowing, where did that hunger come from? See, we all want to make money, but you are doing nation building.
When I was about 12 years, my father had a good thought for keeping cows at home for the milk. So he used to always keep 5, 6 cows. So on Sundays, he used to tell me to clean the cow when I was about 12, 13. So the people living on the neighborhood used to see me doing it, and they used to teach me gwala, gwala. So I didn't have the courage to go and tell
Gwala?
gwala vendor who cleans the house.
Yeah, milkman.
So I had to go and cry in front of my mother
Huh.
every Sunday. Then my mother told my father, why do you punish the children? Then my father called me and asked me, why do you feel bad about it? Then I told everybody it teaches me, and I feel ashamed. Then my father told me, चोरी करने में इंसान को शर्म आनी चाहिए, अपने काम में कभी शर्म नहीं आनी चाहिए. चाहे कितना
So
भी
profound.
कितना. So that is the first time I learned at the age of 12, 13, the work is worship. And that I imbibed in me, and I'm still working at the age of 83, 12 hours a day.
Not just working, going for treks. Okay,
Yeah.
so much of social work,
Yeah.
right? Nation building you are doing. There's one story about you that I read, which is in the 1984 riots. Like, I remember it very vaguely. I was very small, but there's this story where you saved like a sick person right outside your house. There was a park when a mob was about to
Kill him.
and you just dived into the mob.
Yeah.
Where did that courage come from? And I would love for you to narrate that story, because I see a lot of hatred again growing in our country. Like, every state says go learn our languages, every religion, there's that so much of divide is happening. And there you were, you could have lost your life that day.
Good.
You very much could have, right? But that courage and going and succeeding. But succeeding is a later part of it. Where did that courage come from? What were you thinking that time? Diving?
The day Mrs. Gandhi was shot
Right.
on 30th October, about 10 o'clock I got a call from the school. Those days there were no cell phone. You come and take your children because there are riots in the city all around. So at that time, I had hired Mr. D.P. Kharia. He was the deputy managing director of Tata Steel to train me up, to groom me. He was a great leader. Then I told Kharia Saab, sir, we all can go in the car and we'll bring the children. He said, let's go and we can have a chat in the car. We went. When we reached the school, father told that you have to take these 4 children. This is the address of them because we have not been able to contact their parents.
Oh.
So I was in the school at 11. I should have taken half an hour to come back my house. I reached home at 4 o'clock.
You dropped all 4
Lot
of them.
of them, and there were riots in the city. People were throwing stone in my car and all kind of things. So by 4 o'clock I reached home. When I was about to take a turn to my house, on the left side there was a park, and one Sikh with his scooter was there, and 100 people had surrounded him.
That
I'm,
was so
I'm not
scary.
sure,
Sounds so scary.
whether they were keen on account of any principle or they were wanting to take away his scooter. So I got down from the car and I told Kharia Saab, please go, I'm coming. I jumped in the center. I knew most of the people because they were living close to my house. I told them nobody will touch him. I brought him to my house along with his scooter.
Were people okay? Did they listen to you?
I mean, I had that courage and I had that power. They knew that I'm somebody. So I brought them to my house, and after 2 hours, my house was surrounded by them to release him, to send him back. I did not. I informed the police. At about 10 o'clock in the night, the police van came to my house to take him and drop him at his house. 1 kilometer away, the police van was also surrounded by the people. The van came back to my house and dropped him. By that time, I had informed his family that he's safe with me through friends nearby house. Go and tell him, and they informed him. Then Mr. Kharia told me, was it necessary to take this risk? He was the ex-deputy managing director of Tata Steel.
Right.
I said, yes, for humanity. That they would have killed him for nothing.
Yeah.
So I dropped him next day morning. Then that Sikh gentleman came and met me, and he changed his birthday to that day. Every year on 30th, he used to come and meet me and sort of take blessing from me and celebrate his birthday.
Wow.
So I realized that I don't know what has gone wrong with the society. People hate each other so much. They have no feeling for human beings. Everybody has become so greedy, trying to take things as much as they can. I think they were more keen to take his scooter than matter of principle.
Could be.
So
Could be.
I did that, and my son saw me doing it. My sons were only 6, 7 years old. And
But they learned.
They learned and they remember that they have to think of humanity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So every time I take any decision in the company, no matter what the decision is, I look at how it's going to affect the human being in the company,
Yeah.
then take it.
Yeah.
And that, for this, I broke the rule in the company many times.
I have read that in one of the places you just said that you have broken the rules of the company many times yourself, right? But for good. One of the things that I read and I wanted to know what the thought process was and how did you think? क्योंकि आपको कहीं तो समझ में आ गया होगा इस स्टोरी में कि कुछ गड़बड़ हो रही है behind the scene. There was the story of this man who was very sick and आपने उसको hospitalize किया. You took care of him. You spent money like anything. Then his brothers came to you.
Yeah.
His brothers came to you and told you that ये तो बचने वाला नहीं है. आप इसके ऊपर खर्चा मत करो, वो पैसे हमें दे दो, हम इसकी फैमिली को देख लेंगे. That's what they said.
Yeah.
And you sent a lady officer to his family, sensing कि कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. How did you sense कि कुछ गड़बड़ है? And thinking about one employee so much that there is something wrong when you are managing a company of that size. It mean, how big was the company back then? Like where?
But it was a domestic company.
It was a domestic company, but a big one, right?
Big one, yeah.
Lot of work. इतना कैसे सोच लिया? मतलब लोगों को अपने सामने जो एम्प्लॉय बैठा है उसके बारे में सोचने का टाइम नहीं होता. एंड आई थिंक आई रियली फील समवेयर योर सक्सेस इट इज ऑल्सो अ लॉट ऑफ, लोग बोलते हैं ना दुआएं, अ लॉट ऑफ गुड विशेस दैट हैज कम बिकॉज द मोर गुड विशेस यू गेट, गुड कर्मा, वट एवर यू वांट टू से, द मोर सक्सेस यू विल गेट. That's very directly connected. But for this particular story, how did you realize कि कुछ गड़बड़ है? Because when I think the lady officer went to his house, the wife opened up and told the truth कि ये मुझे निकाल देंगे सारा पैसा रख के. ऐसा ही कुछ हुआ था. Please talk about that.
When we found, he was 27.5-year-old. He had worked with us only for 5 months. He was not a confirmed employee, not entitled to many benefits. But then I told my HR we take care of him. And we took care of him. And we contacted his wife, asked, what can you do? Can you do something? There was no tailoring shop in her village. So she was ready to open up. We got her trained in Singer Machine Center for a month. Bought a shop for her for 70,000 rupees. Opened the shop for her and she was running it. His daughter was 3.5 months. We paid for the education of his daughter till graduation, got her married, and then we said goodbye. I always think, whenever I make a rule, I consider humanity first. If the rule is not good for the human being, I feel unhappy because we are working for the happiness of the people in the company.
Right.
So I found that if we don't take care of him, other employees will see we are not taking care of a person. So we took care of him. Everybody thought, yes, if something happened to my family, maybe the company will take care of us. So they will not change the company.
That's a wonderful leadership lesson there.
They will not change the company.
Yeah.
They remain with the company.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, my motto from the day I started the company, look after your employees, they will look after the company. I used to spend 15 to 20% of my personal time on training of people. Every day, 10 people. So that they feel happy, they are engaged, and they do good work. And the news in the market used to be with headhunter, anybody you can get from Tega. Take my letterhead, give him the appointment at double the price and bring him. We will not take his interview. Because they found the people were so dedicated, honest, and well trained. And it happened, the attrition was low, people lived in the company for a longer period, and they were very well trained. So that laid the foundation of the company very strong.
Yeah, and strong people build
And the company is where it is today.
Yeah.
We are operating 3 plants outside India, 7 in India. We are selling to 99 countries. 82% of our sale is outside India, only 8% in India. Recently, we have acquired a company for 1.8 billion, which has no work in India at all.
Where did you do
The company is in the USA,
USA.
28 manufacturing plant outside India, and now the integration work for both the companies has been done by McKinsey. That's what I was talking to Ramesh yesterday evening.
I see, yeah. So coming to this, one of the plants, if I'm not wrong, somewhere in South America, maybe Chile,
Chile.
right? There was a crisis
Yes.
that you faced a few years back.
Yeah.
And you have a very strong board. Couple of IIMA alums also, I think, in
I
that
am
board.
alum, and then the director of IIM Ahmedabad, Dr. Jahar Saha, was on the board. Then Dheeraj Poddar, PGP 2007, and many MD of Tata Steel Metal Rurkar.
So that's a leadership crisis that I think you, not a leadership crisis, I think that was a crisis which was more of like resource crisis, right? So how did you handle it? What happened? The board,
I will tell you.
read that the board did not take the decision.
2007, 2010, we acquired the company in Chile. And we did not know the culture, we did not know the language. Except two people, everybody spoke only Spanish. And it used to take 42 hours from my home to office, to fly. And our performance of the company became very bad in 5-6 years. We lost a lot of money. We pruned down the size of the company to half. Then my son, he identified an innovator. He persuaded him to join the company and innovate the product.
Okay.
He joined us. Then the question came of investing 50 crore for innovation.
Okay.
So where to send that money? RBI was not willing to permit us to send the money because we had sent a lot of money, we did not come back. No bank will give us the money for R&D in Chile. So we had to take a decision. So the board told, this is an entrepreneurial decision, we will not take it, you have to take it. That's the first time I realized the difference between a manager and an entrepreneur.
Wow.
Then I told, give me 3-4 hours time. After lunch, we'll meet again. And I told them, yes, we will go ahead. That innovation can bring you result in 10 years, never bring any result, and in 6 months. You don't know what will happen.
Right.
This man innovated the product in less than 6 months. We sold it, and it was selling like a hotcake.
Wow.
So the question came, if we don't expand the capacity, the competitors will take this market. Then after some time, it required 250 crore for investment.
Right.
And we had to mobilize this money and take the risk. Then the board told, be careful. The banker told, be careful. You have never earned money in this country. You don't know the language. It is so far away from here.
But it paid off?
So we didn't know what to do. My wife told me, be happy what you have. You have started making profit in Chile. Now you are 78 at that time. Spend time with your grandchildren. You never spend time with your children. Children only know the mother, not the father. Because you were never with them in the young days. So leave it, enough is enough. And then when I was going to the board meeting, she said, you will say no in the board meeting.
So there was pressure from home also.
Yeah, she held my hand and said, you will say no in the board meeting and not clear this investment. Now, what do I do? Am I working on the board as a husband of Madan Mohanka? I'm working as an independent person? Or I exercise my right as a chairman because I'm a largest shareholder? Or I look after the company? I realized if the company does not expand, my competitors were so big, large companies, they will eat me up. So I have to protect the company, I have to make the company bigger and stronger. So I have to go ahead with this investment. So I took, and then she had once given her jewelry to save the company.
That was some time back.
In the early days,
Early
78.
days, yes.
So
yeah.
does she have any right or not?
And what
So
was
where does the right
answer?
where does the right come from? Ownership, because she gave the money in the early days, or it is the protection and growth of the company which gives the right to take a decision. So I took the decision as a chairman to protect the company, and I took the decision to go ahead. And today, the company is doing so well in Chile, so well I can't tell you. I mean,
That's
the
lovely.
product that we innovated, we are the largest producer in the world of that product. Largest in terms of number, volume and size, all three.
So did you ever speak to your wife
Oh, she
after
was,
that?
she is knowing every
No,
day.
she knows.
Yeah, yeah.
But the conversation, did that happen? That
Oh, they all think my father made a mistake. You know, my name is Madan. She said, if you had kept your name shorter, it would have been better. And it happened when I started 98, when our collaboration agreement expired, the growth of mining industry in India was negative. So we had people who had worked for 20 years, they had run the business, but we were not able to expand. So I thought my team will disintegrate if they see no growth in India. So we had the right to export. So for 1 year we tried to export ourselves and nobody would look at us because those days the image of India was not so good. So once I went to South Africa and there I was friendly with the Speaker of the Assembly. He helped me to get the appointment with large companies. But when my people went to meet, they did not meet.
oh,
Because there were people, whites, who were managing the companies. So I did not come back home. I went to London from South Africa.
okay,
And I met an Englishman who used to work with Skega, looking after the South African market.
okay,
And I told him, will you work for me? Whatever money you were saving, I will guarantee in your account. Rest of the cost is mine. So I guarantee your saving, rest of the cost is mine. And I brought him to work with me in India for 3 years. For a year. And so when an Englishman came and I told my wife, an Englishman is going to come and work for me. She said, are you mad? I said, yes. And that man came, and when an Englishman went to sell,
people
in
listen.
export company, nobody asked how big the company is, how small the company is, and he used to pick up the order. When we went to Ghana, my colleague Yawar Imam and me, we used to make presentation, come back to the hotel, and he used to play golf. He never used to come to the customer with us. Play golf, meet the people in the evening, and third day he used to give us the order.
Which year is this?
Oh, it was 2000.
Even then, this is the level of racism.
Yeah, I mean, not only racism, the image of India, because if my product fails, 1 hour the customer may lose $1 million, nobody will take a chance. So our product is so critical. But he started bringing the order. Then he worked with us for 3 years, but on account of some cultural differences, we parted with him.
Right.
So I took the risk of bringing an Englishman, and his salary used to be 1/3 the salary of the whole company. But I took the risk. If it comes and does the work well, the company will fly. If we fail, the company will die. Anyhow, the company will die. What difference does it make? So I brought that Englishman to work for me. He opened up the market for us in Australia, in Africa, and then we started exporting. Our first big order was
That's
from,
again a lovely management lesson right there. Right?
take a risk.
Take a risk.
Calculated, take your risk.
Calculated risk.
Take your
Yeah.
risk.
Yeah. So, Madan sir, I want to know, like really focus on in this section in your philanthropic journey. Like we did touch base on like you helping your employees and the employee passed away, helping his daughter. There has always been a philanthropic side. But when we read about you or your books, you have been doing very structured philanthropy, right? That thing of calculated risk that you take in business, that management practices here also in philanthropy. One is what makes you choose education. You invest in education heavily. There's so many problems. Why education, right? That's one. And the second part of the question is the way you are doing philanthropy is so structured. Like you did the center for case studies here. You are doing so much more on case studies. You keep contributing towards it. First, what do you think? Why are you so motivated about case studies? I know the answer, but I want the audience to know because we have spoken about it. And what makes you focus on education, right? And how do you structure your philanthropy? And what advice would you want to give to the next generation, IIMA alums, HNIs, you HNIs, or anyone who wants to invest in social impact, who wants to do some, bring some social change, do some good work? What your advice would be to that?
In 2011, I got the award as a distinguished alum on 50th anniversary of IIM Ahmedabad. Mote sir was sitting next to me. He congratulated everybody. He didn't congratulate me, though he was my best friend. He was like a father. So I looked upset. He said, Madan, you look upset. I said, yes. Because I didn't congratulate you. I said, yes. So he told me, A, give back to IIM and give back to underprivileged people. So how to give back to IIM? So I started contributing on case studies, come and take the classes. And those days, there was no system in IIM to take money to help people. Even then, I gave 50 lakhs of rupees for a scholarship when Samir sir was the director here, IIMA, for scholarship to needy people. But there was no structured system in IIM to take the donation from us.
Right, right.
So, and when I was in 1964, when I passed out of BIT Ranchi, my father sent me to the village to build a school for girls. So my father had that genes in him to give back to society, to give back to his village. So I went and stayed there for 5 months during summer, and from there I came to IIMA directly.
Right.
To build a school there. Coming back to Mote sir told me, give back to the underprivileged people. They expect a lot from us. When I looked at where to help them, they are so poor, they need so many things. But if you give education to a person, this is the best gift you can give to a mankind, that he can live with dignity.
That's so true.
So if he is educated, he will know what other facilities government is giving for health care or other things. He can always get it. But if he is not educated, you may teach him about his health, but he will not be able to avail those facilities. So I only focus on education. Everywhere I spend my money, in the school, college, sending children abroad, or at IIM, scholarship for the needy children, or case studies.
Case studies.
Now case center. Now you might ask me, why case center? When IIM started, a large number of senior professors were sent to Harvard for ITP, International Teachers Program, for 1 year for learning case method of teaching. So most of them have retired.
Right.
So there are not many people in IIM today who are as strong as they were in case method of teaching. So I thought, and this is, in my opinion, the best method of teaching business. So I thought we should revive it and make it stronger. Then I asked Bharat Bhai, can I open a case center? So he said it requires a lot of money. I said, I'm ready. So I decided to put up the center.
Yeah.
And I requested Saral sir to take charge of it, because he has been declared the best teacher in the last 10 years continuously.
Right.
And he is doing a great job.
Yes.
So I try to support him as much as I can to this method. And I think some new things we are doing in that. This case center will strengthen the teaching pedagogy of the IIM Ahmedabad, other IIM, other business school in India.
Right.
But other than this, I had a new thought which I thought we'll implement, and we have started implementing. If India had to become Viksit Bharat in 2047, we have to create children who will not look for job, who will create job. So we want to sensitize the children in class 9, 10 by telling them stories. You can do it too.
Right.
And 11, 12, change the curriculum of the school in CBSE and ICSE, and that 15 days they have in the present curriculum of entrepreneurship, we will teach them through case system. And then again in the undergraduate school, because only after graduation they decide to do post-graduation or take a job or have their own enterprise. So that is the time we have to carry them, have your own enterprise, and for that whatever is required to be done in the country, support from the bank, giving them loan without collateral security, so on and so forth, has to be done.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that. The name of my mission is creating million billionaire. It requires a long ecosystem to be done.
Ecosystem
I've
change.
had a chat with Bharat Bhai yesterday. I'll have a second chat with him after 1 month to see how we can implement it.
Yeah.
So the case method of teaching, I want to propagate in every aspect of life, not only for enterprise, even teaching physics, chemistry, math. We want to introduce case method of teaching in school.
Yeah.
It's not a small thing, it's a big thing. It will take time. I'm 84. I don't know how long I will live to do it, but I'll create a system that it will continue. There will be a separate section in IIM Case Center, one for the senior faculty and one for the children. So I'll pursue both.
Generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe in 10 year time, it will revolutionize the pedagogy of the school in the country.
No, it should, because this day and age, if you want your children to learn through experience, experiential learning is what it is called, the school fees is obnoxiously high. It shouldn't be.
No, I'm running a school in Pada, a village 40 kilometers from Karnal.
Oh.
I have a teacher who is teaching them this experiential teaching. So I requested him to work with me. He told no. If you make a school in my village, where my father was a teacher, I will create the school. So in that school, we are teaching experiential teaching to the children in the school, so that when they do the class 12, everybody is employable. So either they can take a job or they can go for higher studies. And we are charging a very nominal fee, not high fee.
Correct.
The aim is to bring the school in the village. Right. In big town, there are schools where they charge 5,000, 10,000 rupees a month.
Even more,
and give,
lakhs.
Per month, and they teach. In that school, very nominal fee we charge, and we do experiential teaching. And I have a great teacher, Parminder. He is doing a great job.
That's lovely. I actually wanted to, like, when IIMA Endowment Fund was created, you were a big, I think you were one of the first donor, promoter, going and talking about Endowment Fund, and given your philanthropic style, which is also structured philanthropy, I can see why you see Endowment Fund as something that should be there.
I'm here even if I'm not invited.
No, we can't count you now as the part of the endowment team only, right? So I want you to give a message. If you have to talk to other alums,
any institution which is a holistic institution requires a lot of money to develop. That money can come from the courses that they conduct and endowment fund. Endowment fund is a must. Even if you look at Harvard, their bank balance is so big that because of the donations given by the alum of Harvard. So there is no other way to generate money for the growth of the school. And the money will have to be given by the alum. Somebody has to start somewhere.
Right.
Somebody has to start somewhere. And on the other side of the fence, people expect a lot from us. They expect a lot from us. If the gap between have and have not increases the way it is increasing today, maybe in 30, 40 years' time, we might have riots in this country.
Civil war.
The gap will be so big. Do we want that? No.
Nobody.
Nobody wants it. So it is important for us to have the contribution to endowment fund, create jobs for the underprivileged people. That's why I'm saying doing digital business is good, but also look at manufacturing, because that is the one which gives job to the underprivileged people.
Right.
Where they can get the employment, not only digital business. Focus on this as well. Right. This is hard. This is very hard. But then if IIM people don't know, who will do it?
Correct.
Our GDP from the manufacturing is only 14 to 16%, and unless it becomes 40%, the economy will not become stable, and we will not be able to create employment for underprivileged people. Right. So that's the main focus of my life, to create employment, create jobs for underprivileged people, educate people to go in for manufacturing as much as they can. That's why when the last seminar that you had on accelerating Indian growth, my focus was on that as a keynote speaker.
Yes. Thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you. I think the learning never stops, and every time I speak to you, I learned so much personally, and I hope our audience takes away these learnings, and it really helps our alums, our IIMA community, and the young ones who are coming in, right? So this is the reason why we are doing this podcast, to interview people like you and leave these learnings out there for the IIMA community, by the IIMA community. So thank you so much for taking the time out today. And I know with all your schedule, we deeply appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me. Anytime IIM needs time from me, it is available to them.
That is lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of WIMWIAN Trailblazers. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.